Now, let me get this straight. So, when you have a union, a UNION, and there's some kind of oversight committee on world scale, because your union needs to be approved by the global oversight or that union, you come up for renewal every now and again. Do you not? America? I'm just curious. Or the 50 postage stamps of whatever this is, where New York is located, just below Canada, just above Mexico. Right, so you need a king's blessing, which we had. We needed the inside confidant and the outside or out of this world whatever witness. Got it? And then we needed the professionals. We had that. So now what happened? They called some Mickey Mouse sticker club, like superhero, not superheroes, but super celebrity, whatever. And they're like, okay, so now those movies that you're making over in that state that's in her union, who's directing and writing all of those things? Because how is that getting funded? How are you getting all that creativity? And how does that go back to funding the union that you both are located in? Because it seems that her part of the union's having trouble. Hello? This thing on? Anyone awake and alive in the rest of the world? Alexander was born, and then Nico, Nico. I think that's what he said you wanted to be called. He's like, because it's FICO, FICO, Tico, TICO, and Nico, NICO. So now he came. Jason was working NYPD, but whatever. And then it was Ricky and Jenny's house in Seaford, I think. Billy and Sandy were there. They said they handed me something. It was a Panasonic phone, I think. I think that's where I got that from. Somebody asked me that later on in Ronkonkoma, and I'm like, I have no idea. I can't even remember where I got it from. Last night I was laying down thinking about it. It popped into my head, and I'm like, oh my God, wait a minute. That was... Yeah, and we were there for some Halloween party in whatever. They said it was an early Christmas for them. Then Ricky and Jenny said something about it was a birthday present or early Christmas present from Uncle Sam. That made no sense to me. UNCLESAM. And then they said, I mean, a really handsome guy was there. A really handsome, tall guy. And he wanted to spend some time with Alexander in his little sweet pea outfit, which he did. And then I think, I don't know if he took a picture of the Panasonic and then us. I can't remember. It's hard to tell. But I got dizzy because he was talking to me, and I'm like, I feel like I should know these answers. He's like, well, I'm national security. I'm like, well, what does that mean? I was like, what's the difference between that and what he does, meaning Jason? And he's like, I can never tell. He's like, are you serious or are you kidding? And I'm like, now, if I was kidding, what? I mean, no. I said, I'm dead serious. I was like, I think I've heard of national security. It's just, it's not something that they readily talk about on day to day at all. They don't teach in school. I mean, they don't teach what police, like the whatever police do that Jay works for. And then, like, he was like, now does this count for, like, how do you explain this? And I'm like, explain what? And he's like, well, would this be considered polygamy? And I'm like, polygamy? I was like, now why would I was like, I know I have 2 other kids, but why would this be polygamy? I was like, that just doesn't sound right. I was like, I don't like the way that feels, or that sounds. I was like, so he was like, yeah, right. It was a little awkward, not gonna lie, but I mean, kind of, sort of, but not really. But again, I don't know, like, in New York, I mean, then I had a conversation with Sue, Macaluso at 254 Peconic. She apparently works with Maria Speciale at, Computer Associates, or so she said something about the Air Force once, and I was just like, wait, what? Air Force, right? Okay. I was like, I'm trying to follow. I was like, go ahead. And she's like, no. She's like, I don't know. They said something that you're some kind of special something. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, well, no. And then I think the word erasure came up, or eraser. And it was just like, yeah, well, that's a good question. Because, like, if my people are into eraser or erasure, where they erase memories, it's like, that would make a lot of sense. Because are they investigating what's going on with me with, like, this problem with remembering things? And she's like, nope, that's what I wanted to know. And I'm like, because if you have trouble remembering things and there's no reinforcement on, like, a consistent basis, like, you could tell me something once, doesn't mean I'm going to remember it. But if you ingrain it, it's like a daily regime or a daily reminder, or, I mean, when it's out of sight, I mean, you're not looking at anything important or that's congruent with what you were told. And when you don't hear things in congruence with what you were told and what you know to be correct somewhere or at some point in space and time, not necessarily the same space and time you're currently inhabiting, there's no way to know how operations are working elsewhere, because the operation here is not working. In fact, I feel like I've been chiggered in, like, to a peg in a hole, like, buried into it. And it's like I get momentary glances at, like, well, I had that once. And then it's like, I mean, so there were some Hollywood people that I never met. I never showed up for any of their things, never got invited. I mean, I just been sitting, waiting in New York, same little girl, same phone, same living monetary arrangement of nothing, trying to just make it through the day till we die, because that's the only thing you have to look forward to ever. So it's just like, get up, record the day of nothing important, go to bed, and pray that death finds you. Wake up, or fuck, didn't die last night. Wake up, record the day, wait for sleep, go to sleep, and hope you fucking die overnight. That's just been the last 42 fucking years, just waiting for death to fucking find me permanently, so I don't have to do this anymore, since there's nothing fucking useful about being here in skin anyway. Thanks for renewing the union with 50 postage stamps, the most useless fucking assholes I've never met.